All right. So, hope y'all enjoyed those dominating athletes right there. Reese, ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all paid attention to the word dominating. Maybe I should throw in the word impactful because we got the most dominating or impactful NFL players. I got a whole bunch of people. Really, it was like 20 and some change that I found. Right.
Yeah.
At least not when I say found. I mean, I watched them, so it's not like I just came up on them myself. But these were my most dominant players, Reese. I mean, I had to put Tom Brady first, right? Because he's the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I had to pay my respects. Then also we got Aaron Rodgers. Also, you also got Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Micah Parsons. Like I said, the Diggs brothers. That's Stephon and Trevon. Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, CMC, Travis Kelce, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Nick Bosa, TJ Watt, Derrick Henry, Myles Garrett, Matt Judon, DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, and Mark Andrews. Those boys can get it. And it's crazy because, like, for example, Tyreek Hill, the man is extremely short in the NFL, but he's dominating off speed, and that's crazy. Like, is there anybody else for you that I missed? Did I miss anybody
No.
else?
And I like what you did with it too, because I'm glad that you had a long list, because impact is so obscure, but at the same time, it's obviously we're talking about impact and winning. You know what I mean? So a guy like Derrick Henry, you know what I mean? Although he may not get that far with the Titans every year in terms of the playoffs, but he's still Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So no, you can miss anybody. And I mean, out of the names, I mean, I probably could find 5 more guys, because I mean, really impacting a game like football, it's a lot of special players in the league.
Yeah, I let me move from this one because that was my Panthers in the Super Bowl. I don't like that one. That was Von Miller. Forget him. But impact, dominance, like it's a little subjective, but I think a lot of these players will come up on a lot of people's lists at the end of the day, offensively and defensively. And I think people think about the touchdowns, right? Like, excuse me, it's just like in basketball. We think about scoring, but someone like Draymond, Ben Simmons, like they dominated in the game from a defensive standpoint. Rudy Gobert, he dominated for a little bit from a defensive standpoint. So I mean, it's the same thing in the NFL. Like, if you don't have Aaron Donald on your team, Rams, you don't win. Sorry. Like, I know OBJ is cool. We just talked about him, right? Like, OBJ is that star power. OBJ is not he didn't win you the game.
Right. He wasn't the most dominant, impactful player. Right.
So, and OBJ did not make my list also. So, I mean, great player. Like, again, the catch, phenomenal. Won't ever forget it. It's beautiful. When I was watching it to do the highlights, I was like, damn, that really was impressive. Like, buddy really, like, leaned back to catch that. Like, that's crazy. Like, I imagine trying to do that with a basketball on the court, and I'm like, you know what? That might just go out of bounds. I don't know what to tell you. Like, he did that mid-game, like in game, for a touchdown like that, but not on my dominant list. So, is there anybody young that you think has potential to make your most dominant list? Like, this is now where you can throw in someone off your Eagles. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, so not a stretch. Dallas Goedert is arguably already the number 4 tight end in the league. I don't feel like that's a stretch. I feel like he's behind Kelce, Andrews, and Kittle, and that's it.
Hawkinson?
I think he is above TJ. I'm not knocking TJ. I just think he is above TJ. I do.
Okay.
In terms of overall impact of a tight end, blocking, everything, because we run the ball in Philly. He blocks, he catches the ball. I mean, impact. I would say he's number 4 personally, but I don't know.
Yeah, that might be a little biased too, because I do know Hawkinson also blocks and catches the ball pretty well his damn self. But I will say too, I have not studied Goddard, so you might have something there that I just don't know about. But dominant though, okay. Like, when would you expect him to be dominant, Goddard wise? I mean, when would you expect Goddard to be dominant?
That's a tough question.
Because I mean, Mark Andrews and Kelsey are here for a little bit, so I mean.
So can you not have multiple? I mean, you got multiple players dominating at a position.
Yeah.
But once you get out of the top 3, you're not there, right? I feel you.
I didn't put any. It was only Mark Andrews and Travis Kelsey at the tight end spot for me that were dominant. Like.
Yeah, I see it because, even the 49ers offense doesn't have a place for Kittle to dominate just because of how they move.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they got CMC and all them boys. Like, it's literally, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, it's almost like you got to be able to carry a team almost.
I feel like the ones that are dominant are usually, especially for a game like football, are the ones that are like, I mean, to start off with, the ones that are most physically gifted, period. Like you mentioned, Tyreek Hill speed. You know what I mean? Small for the NFL, but I mean, the man got engines in his toes. You know what I mean? Like, that boy gets light. So when it comes to things like that, so then it's like, once you get past those guys, it's like, all right, now who really makes those differences? I mean, look at this guy, man, tank.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Like, it's just ridiculous. This man is my height, but 3 times of me. Like, it's wild.
You see what I'm saying? People, and you know what? A guy like Derrick Henry in a sport like football will make the common person say, why don't everybody put a guy that big at running back? You know what I mean? That's something that a common
Not everybody can be that big, though, and do what he does. Like it's a special type of player. It's a special type of player. Exactly. This. Again, my Panthers. Let me click off this one. Actually, you know what? Get your highlight in, Miles, because that's on Baker. I'm cool with that. This man right here, though, he be doing a little too much.
You think Jalen Ramsey?
I think he was dominant.
Not currently, though.
Maybe, like, it's a lot more than just him and Aaron. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not. You can blame them a little bit. Because in order for the Rams to be successful, they do need to be dominant. But like they had a few issues also throughout the season too, so I don't put it all on him. But like a couple seasons ago, I maybe even last season you could say, oh yeah, Jalen Ramsey was dominant, or definitely before last season, But then like he started to get exposed a little bit, so I maybe he starts dipping, but he's a candidate for certain. He's definitely a candidate for certain.
In terms of young guys, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you were dominating, if you were gonna dominate, you're dominating. You know what I mean? Like, dominate. That's when I think of words like dominate, I think of dominate and impactful separate. Dominate. Okay. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Dominate. Because that's why. Yep.
And so when I guess, okay, that's a good point. So when I talked about Goddard, I was talking impact, not dominance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I personally feel like the tight end is the most important offensive threat because they're too big for a DB to guard them and too fast for a linebacker. So when you have that in most cases, and then they also have to, again, run block and pass block in situations, I feel like that's kind of like your Swiss Army knife of a player. So in terms of impact, I feel like tight ends have that go at it. If you have an impactful tight end, you most likely have a good football. Most likely.
It's definitely helpful. I do think, though, it's not always overly helpful. Like, the Lions had Hawkinson for a minute, and they weren't doing much. So, I mean, he's definitely – it's a great piece if you have a solid quarterback and a good team around, like a quality team around. So, I definitely hear
I feel like you can say that about any piece. You know,
That's fair. That's fair too.
I was saying it in a perfect, we all
type
of thing.
I get you. And that's a good point you brought up too. Like, there is a little bit of a difference. There's a little bit of a difference between dominance and impact, although it kind of blends a little bit as well for me, because Tom Brady, He's not dominant. Again, earlier I say he's not my top 5 QB, but he's still dominant because guess what? The Bucs are still relevant. They still could win the Super Bowl, and I mean he's at this age. So I mean, like there is a little bit. They do kind of blend, but there is also a differentiator as well. So I do hear you on that. So, like I said, I just wanted to see what your take was. If there was any young guys coming up, I don't know. Like there's a couple of young stars in the game nowadays, but
I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.